My name is Jade Solomon Curtis. I am a choreographer, dancer, and curator. I also am the founder of Solo Magic, a nonprofit arts initiative that collaborates with innovative artists to create socially relevant work. I'm currently working on an excerpt from Motherboard Suite with music and just composition, overall ideations from Saul Williams, directed by Bill T. Jones. I was brought into the process. I believe I might be one of the last choreographers. They've been working on this for quite some time. Bill T. Jones and Saul Williams are really big names, not just within the artistic community, but I think within the Black community. I decided to, I would say, choreograph, explore what is Motherboard Suite based on a couple of things. Motherboard Suite was developed out of Neptune Frost, which was also written and directed by Saul Williams. But there's I feel like so many things inside of the work, so many questions that are being brought up, things around, for me, soul, the spirit existing inside of the Black body, the memory that exists inside of our DNA in terms of the things and the traumas that we have experienced. And that is something that comes up for me a lot. The labor and this notion of productivity that's attached to our bodies and how we're supposed to show up, which I think directly connects back to the space that's needed for the creative process. And I also can't help but think about, especially after seeing Neptune Frost and the mining that's happening and that supports all of this technology that we depend on, and how that inherently affects the bodies that's doing this mining. And I also think that I am oftentimes coming up with the reason behind each project that I'm creating, and there's something really important to my practice to be able to show up for other choreographers and to interpret other directors' intentions. In a lot of ways, it asked me to step outside of myself. It asked me in stepping outside of myself, how am I also being reflective and taking what's coming up for me and relating that, so it forces me to relate to the other work that I may be stepping inside of. I also think it allows me to in a lot of ways develop a different practice. My process is not linear. It is, some people, if they stepped inside my brain, was like, what is this connected to? I would say it's more circular, my process, in that when it comes to music, I believe that dance and music are inherently connected. I think that has to do with my ancestry and me being of African descent. The drums and the dance, they go together. And so depending on the emotion that I am attempting to elicit, that will usually kind of direct me in the way, in terms of what music I press play on. Sometimes I may want to listen to some Solange. Another time I want to listen to some Roy Ayers, and I'm thinking specifically about his house music. So it depends on the emotion that I am channeling at that moment. I'll use an example because I'm working on a work right now, Keeper of Sadness. I started that work in silence and really being directed by my own personal internal self-talk. And then I wanted to figure out how to create this juxtaposing experience of how do I have like solemn and melancholy feelings along with this rage that I was feeling at that very moment. And for me, that was opera. That was this operatic sound. With Motherboard Suite, I started with house music because I wanted to move through joy. I wanted to, even though I was feeling this heavy weight on me, I needed something else to bring me out of it. When I really started listening to Underground, which is what I'm dancing to by Saul Williams, the work was a lot heavier, but there was movement in it. I would say I've choreographed it to that music using the emotional arches that happen throughout the music. What I'm looking forward to in being able to perform on the Meanie stage is a friend of mine used to say, nothing to prove, everything to share. And so that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to being able to show up in this body that I am so blessed to be in, and share the knowledge that it's absorbed over the last, specifically like these last 3 years, but a lifetime. And I'm also really looking forward to being on stage with other Black bodies that are exploring and taking risk on stage and in their lives.